I'm using a Christmas cup in July. Christmas in July, baby! What are we doing today? We are talking about Wegovy. We're also going to get some unintentional ASMR, and you're also going to have to watch me do my makeup. If that sounds like not something you want to do, then maybe this video isn't for you. If you do want to hang out like a couple of pals, stick around. I find that this format for me is a little bit more casual and makes me feel less pressure. If you watched my last video, I mentioned in the comments, that video almost did not want to happen because I tried to record it like 4 or 5 different times. There were all these different factors that were messing it up, but also it didn't feel like me. I'm sure it was a useful format for some people. I just need to feel more authentic. So this was more me. I'll have the timestamps linked below as always. So let's get into it. I don't even know what accent that was. So I'm officially on Wegovy for 1 month now, entering week 4, so technically next Saturday will be 1 month, but we're just gonna say it's now. I'm smiling a lot because I'm really happy about my progress, so I'm gonna build some suspense here. I do want to get into updates from last time. So I talked about my frustrations with Ro. Basically what happened after that video is like immediately after I got a message from them, which I'm not saying they're correlated at all, but they got back to me and they were like, hey, we're going to send your prescription over to Amazon Pharmacy, and the only way we can do that is if they actually have it in stock, which has not been my experience. If I ask you to send it to a specific pharmacy, whether they have it in stock or not, just send it there. They can order it. They're going to get stock of the medication at some point. I personally don't need somebody else to like shop around other pharmacies for me. It's an advertised service they have with this plan, but it doesn't work in practice because neither times I've tried to get my prescription were they able to find it anywhere before I was through Amazon. So, like, no offense to their business model, but perhaps just don't do that. Basically, they got back to me and they sent my prescription over finally, because at that point I was like, I'm about to just electronically request it from my Ro provider for Amazon Pharmacy. If you go in the app and you request a transfer, you can specify your provider, and if you know their name, you can just request it directly from them. But I feel like we shouldn't have to do that, especially if you're paying for a service. If I'm paying that much, then like, why is this a problem? Still happy with the process in general because it's very easy and the app is designed very well. So they sent my prescription to Amazon and I ordered it the same day. I got an estimate that it was going to be delivered on July 5th originally. I say originally because it was shortly after delayed. It's now saying July 9th. What I also noticed is that my provider had already requested a refill for the 0.25, I assume just in case I ran out. So I did go ahead and order the 0.25 as well because I don't want to risk, especially in the shortage, I don't want to risk not having it. That one was delayed as well. I think it's now saying July 10th for that one. July 9th is going to put me actually 1 day past when I'm supposed to take it. I should be taking my 0.5 dose on the 8th, but that's not going to happen unless some miracle happens and the prescription gets here earlier than expected, which actually last time it did. Last time I ordered from Amazon Pharmacy, it gave me an estimate and then it actually ended up getting to me in like 2 days. So I think their estimates are kind of just based on inventory. Honestly, they just could be arbitrary, but I have confidence. I'll say that. I have confidence that it's going to work out and I'm going to get it when I need it. I am excited to move up to this 0.5 dosage. I really think that the higher dose is going to continue to make an impact on my progress. I'm quite thankful that this is happening and it's working for me. And it also means that I might not need the full clinical dose long term to maintain. I'm slightly nervous about side effects, right? Because they say that they might cause more side effects in the higher doses for some people. Hoping that doesn't happen, but if you saw my previous videos, I've linked to the things that I've been using. There's a few more items that have kind of popped up in these first few weeks for me that have been useful. So I actually put together a beginner's shopping list for GLP-1 medications, even if you're not on Wegovy. That is going to be in my Amazon storefront. I'll link directly to that list in the description. Y'all remember when starter packs were a thing on Twitter? And now Twitter's dying because Elon Musk wants to limit our tweets to like 600 a day. You know what that says about your infrastructure? Let's not get off track here, but that's gonna bring me to my next point is, if y'all know, in my last videos, that's actually where I'm from, is the South, so that is relatively authentic. If you know from my previous videos, I was using liquid IV for my electrolytes and I liked it. Still recommend them. I listen to a lot of like Andrew Huberman Lab podcast He's incredibly well versed in the neuroscientific aspects of weight loss and just like science-backed tools for weight loss in general. He has a whole podcast on that, which I linked in my first ever Wegovy video, but I'll link it in this one too. Highly recommend listening to it. He does mention semaglutide for like a brief amount of time, but it has like some background I thought was interesting on weight loss medications. Long story short, Andrew Huberman recommends Element. I think you say it like Element, but the brand is actually LMNT. And I ordered directly from their website through his affiliate link. That will arrive this week, so I'll see if it's something I like better than the Liquid IV. I just put Aquaphor on my lips, but I feel like I need a little bit more color. So I update on side effects every week. Yet again, no new ones. I'm still noticing if I don't drink enough, I get a little backed up. So just be aware that that will happen. Make sure you're hydrating on this medication. In other news, there is a new tool that I found that plots your GLP-1 concentration. It includes like compounded or Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro, and it'll show the amount that you have in your body at like a given time based on when you started and based on how often your injections are, which I thought was interesting, and I thought that you might as well. So I will link that down below. You can check it out. You can download the chart as like a picture on your phone. If you look at those graphs, I'm actually going to show mine. If you look at those graphs, you can see that they go up during the week and then they gradually come back down. So the half-life of Wegovy, for example, is 7 days. That's why that you have to do the injection every 7 days. So if you actually see here, you can note like how much is in your system. So I think it's useful, especially for people that aren't able to get their medication right away and like might miss a couple of days, and see what level is in your system and work it out with your doctor on like when you want to dose the next dose if there's a delay. And just if you're a data nerd like me, I just think it's interesting. So check that out and let me know what you think. I'm learning a lot about Wegovy as I'm progressing and moving along in my journey. Learning a lot about like how it works and some other interesting topics in the space of GLP-1 medication. So if you also find that interesting and want to see like what the latest is, I've been trying to post that on my TikTok, so make sure that you follow me there so you can get the latest news. You'll get like mini updates from me as well. TikTok's going to be more of my day-to-day, while YouTube is more of an in-depth overview. Okay, without further ado, I do want to reveal my results for this week and my total weight loss. This week I am down to 218. That brings my total weight loss down to 7 pounds. I only lost 1 pound this past week, but I've had cravings more this week than anything, and I think what that has to do with is my cycle more than it is a problem with the medication. But it could also be that 0.25 is becoming not quite enough, which is great because I'm moving up in doses. 1 pound is still great. My goal for the month is 211. Little milestones help me personally. If you're tracking a long-term goal and you don't have like milestones in between, it can feel really daunting. It like feels like you might never reach the ultimate goal. So I highly recommend making intermediate goals. If you like to weigh in frequently like I do, it can be kind of harrowing because obviously day to day is going to fluctuate. Your weight can vary throughout the day. If you want something that's going to track those milestones in between for you, there's an app called Happy Scale. Highly recommend. Just another app to have in your repertoire. So results this week, down 1 pound. In summary, I'm not doing any exercising outside of like walking my dog. It's probably like 10-15 minutes 4 or 5 times a day. He's 1 year old, so he's like highly energetic. But to expand on that a little bit, I also want to add in some LISS cardio. So if you don't know what LISS cardio is, it stands for low intensity steady state, like walking, light jogging, cycling, low intensity cycling, easy hiking, Pilates, depending on what level it is. Yoga also counts. Any cardio that's not high intensity interval training. Now, the reason I'm choosing to do LISS cardio instead of something like HIIT is because I have PCOS. And it has been shown that putting your body through stress and intense cardio causes your body to want to hold on to weight, especially if you're someone who has PCOS. Weight training can also increase androgens in the body, which can make PCOS symptoms worse. Heavy lifting especially, not recommended. If you're interested in this and like a little bit more about it, there are 2 people that I really like. About to say it again, but Andrew Huberman. And I recommend that you check out his podcast with Sarah Gottfried because they talked about women's health specifically. Sarah Gottfried is great as well. Bonus that I'm going to talk about that has absolutely nothing to do with Wegovy. I'm starting to look into lymphatic system drainage as I'm progressing through this Wegovy journey, right? I'm looking at all these different areas to improve like inflammation in my body. It's still related to Wegovy, but GLP-1s reduce inflammation in our bodies. It's not the primary use case, but that is a side effect of using GLP-1s. It reduces inflammation. What does that mean for this journey that I'm going on with the lymphatic system and working on that? That should also reduce some inflammation in the body. So it should help with weight loss. It should help with feeling like less puffy in my face specifically. But for that, there are a few people on TikTok who I've been enjoying their content around that, specifically Gracie Norton, but there are 2 other creators that I will include links to in the description if you're interested in that. All right, well, we've rambled enough today. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure that you're following me on TikTok so you don't miss any updates in between during the week, and I will see you in the next one.